Hi, Ben.
Hey,
Hey, welcome to No Scurvy Here, our podcast about roaming the high seas and learning to do exciting things without being eaten by sharks.
that is the truth. That is the
So,
truth.
I have a question for you, my friend.
Try to
This is
answer
a
it as best as I can.
this, this is a topic I was thinking about this morning.
Yeah.
Um, well, let me start. I'm gonna ask you two questions. My first
Yeah.
question is: have you had any what does adventure mean to you? Like, define adventure for me.
All right, I'll define adventure for you. Adventure meaning. So,
So you're gonna let Google define
so
adventure?
okay. I just googled it. I didn't read it yet though. But adventure to me is oftentimes for me means something that is outside my normal schedule, right? So it might
Ooh.
be a midday walk through a park,
Mhm.
or going on a bike ride with my friend Alex.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you, that guy. Or
Right. Right.
or
Right.
um or traveling to a random country. Or I guess going to Omaha, Nebraska with my father. Um,
Yeah.
you know, ha- something that's kind of like. Oftentimes, when I think of adventure, it's something outside or travel related. So it's being outside, doing something
Yeah.
physical, or
You
travel
kind of
related.
alluded as well to it being outside of your regular schedule, which I didn't
Yeah.
even think of till you said that as a component of adventure. But so
What?
if you're doing the same thing every day, it's not an adventure, right?
Yeah. What is your take?
Um, Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be. It's an adventure has to have a bunch of elements for me. Like definitely outside of my routine. That was a great point. Has to be on some level exciting to me.
Right.
That's what makes something an adventure. Um, it might just be those two things because we can have adventures literally every single day.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this grand thing where you're traveling to the Andes, climbing a mountain or whatever. And adventures can be something very simple in your own neighborhood. But do you think adventure is an important part of your life?
I think it's one of the key elements for me. Um, when
High
I think
priority.
of when I describe recently the things that I think I need in my life, I think that
Mm,
I need every day or every week. I need professional challenges or challenges that I find meaningful.
mhm.
I need to be outside. I need to be physical.
Yes.
I need to be with friends and be social. Those are the basic.
Yes.
I don't know if that was five or four that I listed off. Whatever. Those in my view are the things that make for the best week for me.
Okay.
And I don't specifically mention adventure. I guess that falls within the outside stuff. But yeah, what do you think?
Like an adventure could be you and I like going to a park we haven't
Yeah,
hiked at before, or even that
yeah,
we have, but maybe we haven't
yeah,
been to recently.
yeah,
Just something where we're like seeking. I feel like adventure is like seeking a new experience of something.
yeah. It
Um,
might be it might be climbing a tree.
yeah, like if you yeah, exactly. So what can you think of any adventures you've had just within the past few days?
Um, Yesterday I went to Mendon Ponds and I did a run through an
Mm-hmm.
area that I used to run in quite often.
Mm.
That was good for me. That was a good adventure.
Did it feel exciting?
It did. It
Yeah.
did. I went down this hill that used to be that was a hill, one of the major hills in the race, the county
Mm.
race that we used to do there, and that was a major training place for everybody.
Mm.
So I ran up that hill, and I remembered, oh man, this hill was rough at the end of the race when you're all taxed out already, and you got to go these couple of rolling, tough, big old hills. So
Yeah.
it was fun. Yeah. What about you? Tell me about a recent adventure.
So on Saturday morning, which was yesterday, um,
Yeah.
Brittany worked from 3 a.m. till 7 a.m.
Yeah.
and I knew I was out of town last week, so I knew we were going to both be together on Saturday, and I have time, special time together. So I was trying to think of something this past week that would be like really fun for us that didn't involve just laying around and being exhausted and watching TV.
Yeah.
So I had this idea, set it all up, and on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. we went down to the beach in our neighborhood for Brittany's Prego Bare Belly beach photo shoot. And I brought a cart with like blankets and pillows, and she put on like a swimsuit and like just like a really light, open shirt and like a big hat, and we just did a photo shoot of her pregnant belly on the beach on Saturday morning. And then she laid around for a while and watched me swim because the waves were like, it was a windy morning. So like the morning sun's shining down on me, and I'm like in the water with waves that are above my head, and just like bobbing up and down and body surfing, which is something I've liked to do ever since I was a kid. Just catching the wave right before it crests, and then you do like a prone swim, and that cresting wave can carry you, 20, 30 feet, with like the cresting, the foaming water like pushing your head around and like rushing in your ears. And to me, that is, it's not something I do every day, but that is very exciting to me. So it was kind of like two adventures in one.
I love that adventure.
Swimming in the lake and Brittany's Prego Bare Belly beach photo shoot.
Those are really good adventures.
That was really fun. So yesterday was a good day.
Those are really good. I wish I could like match that. Well, yeah. You know what? We do. I think that we need those things that take us out of the zone a little bit. I think that we benefit when our mind is completely focused on the task. Some people achieve that through listening to music. Some people achieve that making art, going to an art museum, doing something physical, participating in sports, being with a friend. We need those things where we are totally zoned in. Adventure certainly does that, doesn't it? It gives us a chance to completely zone in.
I never really thought about that aspect of it,
zone out.
Of being a focusing thing, but it definitely, you're not worrying about any of the stresses in life when you're out experiencing some sort of exciting, fun little thing.
It's the truth.
So it is definitely a relief, an escape to a degree.
Huge.
But it's also like I spent a lot of my life, pretty much after I hit puberty and stopped being a little kid, my imagination started to like be pushed into the back of my brain. Oh, really? And then all through like growing up in adulthood, it's like I felt like, I don't know if it was the world or myself, like it's suppressing my imagination more and more over time, and I really lost a lot of that magic that I had when I was a child. So, part of my personal growth over the past few years has been intentionally trying to find magic in the world around me, and adventure is like the way to get there, to find the magic in the world.
I like that.
Yeah. It makes me really happy to do that kind of stuff and just always be looking for a way to interact with the world that I'm not doing on a normal daily adult basis.
I like that. Do you think that what is one of your most favorite adventures that you've had over the last couple of years, which stands out?
Oh, that's hard. I don't know. I already told you about some of my amazing snorkeling stories from St. Kitts recently, but finding a giant sea snail and having the resort restaurant cook it into ceviche for me, it was pretty fun. That's a good story. I'm sure I could come up with something better if I had more time.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you have anything that really sticks out in your mind?
I guess when I thought of adventure, one of my proudest, I would say, was when I was in New Zealand prior to the pandemic starting, renting a camper van, like a caravan, a suburban parent type of van, and using that and being in that camper van on the South Island of New Zealand for a little while. That was
Wow.
amazing. And camping in front of glacial lakes, going hiking in the morning, it was awesome. I love that. So that was a good adventure. I enjoyed the heck out of
You
that.
are you are a well-traveled guy. You've had a lot of traveling adventures
I
all
want
across
more.
the world.
I want more. I'd like to see.
Yeah.
I'd like to see. I'd like to go to Spain sometime in the next couple of years. Spend some serious time there. France would be cool.
Yeah.
Southeast Asia and Japan. So those are the places that are on my short list of travel. And Colombia, Cartagena, Colombia.
Yeah.
Those are the places on my somewhat short list of travel destinations that I would like to, visit at some point in the next couple of years.
Sounds very exciting. I think when
Yeah.
people think of the word adventure, probably a lot of people think of that grand, like international
Sure.
travel kind of
Doesn't have to be
adventure.
though.
But it can be, and that's really, yeah.
It
I
could
mean,
be.
that's an amazing experience, right?
It could be going to the cemetery in Albion, New York, small town west of Rochester, and going to the hill in the middle of the cemetery and climbing the Civil War monument up the spiral staircases, gradually,
Okay.
gradually, and then getting a view of the whole surrounding county and town
Yeah.
from that spire, that Civil War memorial. That can be an adventure in the middle of winter.
And that's something you did recently, or
Yeah, I've done that a couple times. In the middle of
I've never
winter,
even heard of that.
the top steps ice up.
Yeah.
So you got to be a little careful in the middle of winter. But go up there in the
Yeah.
middle of winter, it's stark. No one else is out there. It is beautiful. That is an
Cool.
adventure,
I
right?
mean, I
There's
guess. Oh, go ahead.
no, there's so many adventures out there, possible adventures.
I feel like a lot of times for me these days, adventure does involve being outside. It's a lot harder to have a meaningful adventure in your own home. You gotta at least step outside the front door, right?
Yeah, isn't there there's a Hobbit quote on this, right? It's Hobbit.
A Hobbit? Are you about to quote the Hobbit? I love this.
Yeah,
One of the best books ever written.
I know. So
Because hobbits don't like adventure, if you recall, except for Bilbo Baggins and Frodo
I know.
Baggins. They love adventure.
Okay,
In all seriousness though, isn't the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings like some of the best fiction ever created?
truly. I mean, it's one of those. Okay, so let me read this poem to you. I'm sure all of our.
I'm excited for this.
Am I? I thought this was longer. So
Just hit it, man. Let's hear it.
okay, okay. So this is all that is glow. All that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. The old that is strong does not wither. Deep roots are not reached by the frost. From the ashes a fire shall be woken. A light from the shadows shall spring. Renewed shall be blade that was broken. The crownless again shall be king. That was not the quote I was looking for, but we'll take it.
It doesn't seem to have anything. Here, check this out. There's a deer just looking at me in my window. Can you? Where is
Uh-uh.
he?
Hey man, no
Can
way.
you see that guy?
Yeah.
Just right in my window here. He's like checking me out. Move along, buddy. I built a fence.
Let me see.
Yeah, I like how you just read that. I like how you read that poem. Anyways, it was really beautiful. I don't know if it had anything to do with it, travel or adventure.
Nothing.
But
Nothing.
I nevertheless enjoyed it. I enjoyed it
No.
greatly.
Nothing. Yeah, that's nothing. Um, yeah, we're done. We're done with Hobbit quotes. But yeah, it is pretty good.
You can Ben, you can read me a Hobbit quote anytime you please. I love the Hobbit, man. My dad, when I was a kid, my dad read that whole book to me with
Uh,
me like sitting next to him, or even I think on his lap. I think I was that young.
you know,
And he read it to all of them. He was just such a big fan of that book.
I read it. I remember I read it when I initially started in Boy Scouts. So I remember reading one of the books while at summer camp, and I believe my
Yeah,
dad reread it at the same time. So he read. My dad read the
really.
Hobbits when he was the Hobbit books and Lord of the Rings when he was a kid. So I found it really special that I read it
Yeah.
also when I was a kid. I was like, man, my dad read this when he was a kid. I can't believe it. It was huge for me. Yeah.
So as you know, I have a little baby girl on the way due in
Yeah, bud.
November,
Yeah, bud.
and I just realized from this conversation that when she's old enough, I'm going to read The Hobbit to her.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
keep that tradition going, or start that tradition, I guess.
It's a great tradition.
Yeah,
Hey, so I think that's that.
I think that's a good discussion on Adventure Man, and I really enjoyed talking with you, Ben.
I'm gonna read. I think there's a really good Gandalf quote before we go.
You shall not pass. Right? You shall not pass. Something different.
All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. That's it.
So simple. I love it.
Yeah. Another one that's really important. Fool of a toque.
Is that from Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit?
Lord of the Rings. I mean, who knows if that was in the book? That's in the movie for sure. Hey, stop recording.
Good stuff.
So the topic of this video was adventure.
I think it's still recording.
Yeah.
Oh, thank. Oh, yeah.